Everyone noticed one thing about his new wife: she never ate in front of anyone. In the quiet village of Olaranda, where every whisper traveled faster than the wind and every secret eventually found its way into the open, a man named Adikana returned home with a bride no one had ever seen before. She was breathtaking. Her name was Abibi. Her skin glowed like polished bronze under the sun. Her eyes were deep, calm, and unreadable, like a river that hid its depth beneath a still surface. Her voice was soft, almost too soft, as though she feared being heard by something unseen. The villagers were stunned. How did Adikana find such a woman? They murmured. Adikana himself could hardly believe his fortune. He had met her on a trading journey far from home. She had no family with her. No history she cared to share, only a quiet promise. I will be a good wife. I will never bring you shame. And she had kept that promise, at least, at first. Abibi was everything a man could desire in a wife. She woke before dawn, swept the compound, fetched water without complaint, and cooked meals that filled the air with irresistible aroma. She spoke respectfully, never argued, and never laughed too loudly. But there was one thing that unsettled everyone. She never ate in public. At first, it seemed like modesty. A new bride, the women said. She is shy. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Still, Abibi never touched food in the presence of others. When meals were served, she would smile gently and say, I will eat later. At gatherings, festivals, naming ceremonies, where food was abundant and joy was shared, she would sit quietly, hands folded, lips untouched by even a sip of water. The women began to whisper. Does she fast every day? Is she sick? Or is something wrong with her? Adikana dismissed their concerns. She eats, he insisted. Just not when others are watching. But even he had begun to wonder. Because the truth was, he had never seen her eat either. It began with a sound. At first, it was faint, so faint that Adikana thought he was dreaming. A soft, rhythmic crunch. Like dry sticks snapping underfoot. Or bones being broken. He woke up slowly, listening. Crunch. Pause. Crunch. The sound came from beside him. His heart tightened. Abibi, he whispered. The sound stopped. Silence filled the room. Then her voice came, soft and calm as always. Yes, my husband. Were you eating? A pause. Yes, she said simply. In the dark. I did not want to disturb you. Adikana forced a laugh. You could have eaten earlier. I prefer the night, she replied. There was something in her tone, something final, that discouraged further questions. So he said nothing. But the next night, the sound returned. Louder this time. Crunch. Crack. Grind. It was not the sound of normal food. There was something heavy about it. Something that made his stomach twist. Again, he asked. Again, she answered calmly. And again, he said nothing. But sleep no longer came easily. In the same compound lived a young boy named Adebola, Adikana's nephew. Adebola was curious by nature. He noticed things others ignored. And he noticed Abibi. He noticed how she never ate. How she avoided food in daylight. How her eyes sometimes lingered too long on people, not in affection, but in something else. Something darker. One night, unable to sleep, Adebola stepped outside. The moon hung low, casting pale light over the compound. That was when he saw her. Abibi. She moved silently toward the backyard, carrying something wrapped in cloth. Adebola's heart began to pound. He followed her. Carefully. Quietly. She stopped near the old abandoned hut at the edge of the compound, a place no one visited anymore. She looked around, then entered. Adebola crept closer, his breath shallow. Through a crack in the wooden wall, he peered inside. And what he saw would haunt him forever. Abibi sat on the floor. Before her lay a pile. Not food. Not yam. Not rice. Not meat. Bones. Human bones. Skulls. Fragments of ribs. And in her hands, a femur. She lifted it to her mouth. Then, crack. She bit into it. Her teeth sank in as though it were soft. She chewed slowly, eyes half closed in satisfaction. Blood, dark and thick, stained her lips. Her face changed. The softness disappeared. In its place was something monstrous. Her jaw stretched wider than it should. Her teeth sharpened. Her eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. She was no longer the gentle wife. She was something else. Something hungry. Something ancient. Adebola clamped a hand over his mouth to stop himself from screaming. But it was too late. The floor creaked beneath his foot. Abibi froze. Slowly, very slowly. She turned her head. Her glowing eyes locked onto the crack in the wall. Silence. Then a smile spread across her face. A terrible smile. "Who is there?" she whispered. Adebola ran. Adebola burst into the house, shaking. "Uncle! Uncle!" he cried. Adikana woke in confusion. "What is it?" Adebola stammered, unable to form words. Abibi entered moments later. Calm. Composed. As if nothing had happened. "What is wrong?" she asked gently. Adebola pointed at her, trembling. She eats bones. Human bones." Silence filled the room. Adikana frowned. "Adebola, that is a serious accusation." "I saw her," the boy insisted. "In the old hut." Abibi sighed softly. "A child's imagination," she said. "Too many stories." Her eyes met Adikana's. Steady. Unblinking. "Do you believe him?" she asked. Adikana hesitated. His mind raced. The sounds at night. The secrecy. The unease. But this was his wife. The woman he loved. "Enough," he said finally. "Adebola, go to sleep." The boy stared at him in disbelief. "You don't understand," he whispered. But no one listened. Days passed. Then something strange began to happen. Children started disappearing. First, it was a girl from the neighboring compound. Then a boy who had gone to fetch firewood. Then another. Fear spread through the village like wildfire. "What is happening?" the elders demanded. Some blamed spirits. Others blamed kidnappers. But Adebola knew. He went to Adikanal again. "Uncle, please," he begged. "It is her. I know it." "Enough of this," he snapped. "You will not speak of your aunt that way again." Adebola fell silent. But he did not stop watching. That night Adebola made a decision. If no one would believe him, he would prove it. He hid near the old hut once more. Hours passed. Then, she came. Abibi. Carrying another bundle. This time, it moved. Adebola's heart nearly stopped. A child. Still alive. Abibi entered the hut. Adebola crept closer. Inside, the child whimpered. "Please," a weak voice cried. Abibi knelt. "You should not have wondered," she said softly. Then her face changed again. The transformation was even more terrifying up close. Adebola burst through the door. "Stop!" Abibi turned. For a moment, surprise flickered across her face. Then she smiled. You again. Adebola grabbed the stick. I will tell everyone. She laughed. You think they will believe you now? The child screamed. Adebola lunged forward, striking her. The blow did nothing. She moved faster than he could see. In an instant, she was before him. Her hand gripped his throat. You are brave, she said. But foolish. Let him go. Adikonor's voice thundered from the doorway. He stood there, breathing heavily. Behind him were villagers, armed with torches and weapons. They had followed him after he finally decided to see the truth for himself. Abibi's smile faded. Slowly, she released Adebola. So, she said, you came. Adikonor stared at her, at the bones, the blood, the monstrous face. His heart shattered. What are you? He whispered. Abibi sighed. I told you I would not bring you shame, she said. And I kept that promise. This is shame, he cried. No, she replied calmly. This is hunger. The villagers surged forward. She is the one. Adebola shouted. Monster, someone yelled. Abibi's eyes darkened. You should not have come, she said. Then chaos erupted. She moved like a shadow. Fast. Deadly. But she was outnumbered. The villagers attacked with everything they had. Fire. Iron. Faith. She fought fiercely.
You will not see! I'm there! Fight in it!
But even monsters can fall. At last, she collapsed. Her body twisted, then stilled. Silence followed. Heavy. Unbelievable. Long before she met Adikonor and became known as the quiet wife who never ate in public. Abibi was not a mystery. She was a child once. A lively girl in a distant village called Ayatoro, where the wind carried songs through the trees and children ran freely without fear of the night. Abibi was known for her beauty even as a young girl. Her smooth skin, her bright eyes, and her soft laughter made her beloved among her peers. But what truly set her apart was her hunger. Not the kind that came from missing meals. Something deeper. Something wrong. In Ayatoro, there was a rule every child knew. Never enter the forest after sunset. The elders spoke of spirits that walked when the sun slept. Of things that wore human faces but were not human. Of hunger that could never be satisfied. Abibi listened. But she did not fear. One evening, when the sky burned orange and the shadows began to stretch, she followed a strange sound into the forest, a soft whisper. Like someone calling her name. Abibi. She should have turned back. But curiosity pulled her forward. Deep in the forest, she found it. An old woman. Bent. Still. Sitting beside a small fire. Come closer, child, the woman said. Her voice was gentle, but something about it felt heavy. Abibi hesitated. I have something for you, the woman continued, holding out a small wrapped bundle. What is it? Abibi asked. Food, the woman replied. I am not hungry, Abibi said. The old woman smiled. You are, she said. You just don't know it yet. Inside the bundle was meat. Dark. Unusual. But the smell. It drew her in. Against her better judgment, Abibi took a bite. At first, nothing happened. Then, a rush. Warmth spread through her body. Her heart pounded. Her senses sharpened. She felt alive. More alive than she had ever felt before. What is this? She whispered. The old woman's smile widened. A gift, she said. But every gift has a cost. That night, Abibi could not sleep. Her stomach twisted. Not in pain. In craving. She wanted more. The next day, normal food tasted like nothing. Yam felt like dust. Soup like water. No matter how much she ate, she was not satisfied. Days passed. The hunger grew. It became unbearable. Until one night, she returned to the forest. The old woman was waiting. "I knew you would come back," she said. "I need more," Abibi whispered. The old woman nodded. "This hunger will never leave you now," she said. "You have tasted what humans were not meant to taste." Abibi's voice trembled. "Can it be stopped?" The woman's eyes darkened. "No." Silence. "Then, you must feed it," she said. "Or it will consume you." From that night on, Abibi was no longer the same. Her laughter faded. Her eyes lost their innocence. And her hunger, it changed. It no longer desired ordinary food. It wanted something else. Something darker. Something forbidden. And slowly, very slowly, she gave in. One day, Abibi vanished from Ayatoro. No one knew where she went. Some said she ran away. Others whispered she had become one of the spirits of the forest. But the truth was simpler. She left because she could no longer stay. Because the hunger inside her was growing. And she feared what she might do to the people she loved. For years, Abibi wandered. Alone. Hiding her secret. Feeding only when she had no choice. Until the day she met Adikana. A kind man. A trusting man. A man who saw beauty. But not the darkness beneath it. When he asked for her hand in marriage, she made a promise. "I will never bring you shame." And in her mind, she believed it. Because she had learned to hide her hunger. To bury it in silence. To feed only in darkness. To become the woman who never ate in public. Back to the present. Adikana fell to his knees. Tears streamed down his face. "I did not know," he whispered. Adebola stood beside him, shaking. "I tried to tell you." Adikana nodded slowly. "I should have listened." The village buried the bones. They mourned the lost children. And they spoke of Abibi only in whispers. Adikana never remarried. He lived with the weight of what he had ignored. And Adebola grew into a man who never dismissed what seemed strange. Because he had learned something the hard way. Sometimes, evil does not begin as evil. Sometimes, it begins with a single choice. Not everything hidden is harmless. Some secrets are not signs of modesty. Some silence is not peace. Sometimes, what refuses to be seen is hiding something that should never be allowed to exist. What people refuse to show may be the very thing you need to fear. Some morals of the story. 1. Curiosity without caution can lead to destruction. Abibi's life changed the moment she ignored warnings and entered the forbidden forest. Some doors are closed for a reason. 2. Not every gift is a blessing. The food given to her seemed like a gift, but it carried a lifelong curse. What looks attractive or tempting can carry hidden consequences. 3. Small choices can lead to irreversible consequences. It started with just one bite. One wrong decision can shape your entire destiny. 4. Unchecked desire can turn a person into something unrecognizable. Abibi didn't begin as a monster, her hunger grew over time. When desires are not controlled, they can consume identity and humanity. 5. Ignoring warnings can cost lives. The elders warned about the forest. Adikana ignored Adebola. Wisdom often comes early, but people ignore it until it's too late. 6. Silence can be dangerous. Abibi hid her condition instead of seeking help or staying away from others. Keeping harmful secrets doesn't protect people, it endangers them. 7. Love without discernment can lead to regret. Adikana loved blindly and refused to question what didn't make sense. Love should not remove wisdom or awareness. 8. Truth often comes from unexpected voices. It was a child, Adebola, who saw the truth first. Never dismiss truth just because of who speaks it. 9. Running from a problem doesn't solve it. Abibi left her village but carried the curse with her. Escaping doesn't end a problem, it often spreads it. 10. Evil sometimes wears a beautiful face. Abibi was admired for her beauty and calm nature. Appearances can be deceiving, discernment is essential. Be careful what you hide, what you ignore, and what you desire, because some secrets don't stay buried, they grow. Kindly like, comment and subscribe to Echo Folks Africa, the digital voice of African storytelling.